And then we should do a quick intro for the beginning part because we just kind of dove in just to let people know what's going on. Do you want to do an intro or should I just kind of like
You
talk?
can do
Okay.
it.
Okay. Yeah. So, hey, welcome back. We've taken a little break for a while. The holidays are a busy time. The world's a crazy place. Uh, but here we are, still sitting, still standing in a way, standing metaphorically. So today we're going to talk about the podcast, sort of like a state of the podcast episode where we're talking about how things are going, what we think about. Um, the podcast and our future plans and just letting you in on it. And today we're a little bit more serious. We're using our more serious analytical thought process versus the more open, fun, inductive, open-ended process. So yeah, just get ready for that a little bit of that tone shift. All right. Yeah.
Can you hear
So
me okay?
yeah, I can hear you. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's been a while, and at least for right now, we're just gonna have a kind of like a casual conversation about future plans for the podcast. Um, at least for me, if I go back, if we start with why we started this podcast, or at least why I started this podcast, I I like I I like to be creative and put ideas out there, and I love podcasting because we get to have like a real conversation, and we get to have um, uh, yeah. For me, a lot of times it's also about just talking to people and making time for that versus being in like my silo and just doing just working. Um, yeah, so for me that's a big part of why I wanted to start this, and then also there's the practical side of putting out information that somebody can then Google search or look up on Apple or Spotify and then get an answer for something they're looking for. Because that's one of the things that I've done where uh, I, I have a question about something. I'll look on YouTube, I'll look on Google, I'll go to Apple or wherever, and then sometimes I can get really good information um, that I'm not able to get otherwise. Uh, so that's a big part of why I've done it, and then of course if people want to work with me, work with you, work with us, then that's awesome. That's also great. Um, but yeah, what do you think? And then this
Yeah.
also ties in sports psychology because we need our why. We need to know what our why is in order to be able to stay committed and keep doing the things that we need to do in order to achieve a
Mhm.
goal. So for you, why do you think you want to do this?
Yeah, I think it's some of the same reasons, like being able to provide information to
Mhm.
people who might not have access to that information already, or who might not have a really strong support system behind them, or just might be getting maybe even misinformation about um, something that they're looking for. Maybe we can help with debunking some things, some
Sure.
information that might not be as accurate. I think it's also providing our athletes who listen, and maybe they're not even athletes, maybe they're just people who are curious about what we're doing here, provide them with a space that feels relatable. Um, a lot of times, well, for most kids who play sports and then most high school high school adolescents who play sports, and then most college athletes that play sports, they're not going to become professional athletes. But there's so much inside of that athletic experience that I think applies to real world life. And how do we tie back some of those values and some of those skills, so that they become relevant, right,
Sure.
in a person's daily life. What does that look like? And then maybe how do we keep some of those habits alive through the life course, possibly. I also think that, like, we forget about, well, I don't know if, like, I don't know, me and you forget about it, but like maybe the world forgets
Sure.
that, like, there's a lots of different types of performance. We're talking about the mentally fit athlete, but so many of these skills really tie back also to, like, kids who are on the debate team, or in theater, or we forget about dancers and how athletic
Yeah.
dancers
Sure.
can be, are not can
Sure.
be, right? um, and all the things that are involved in that, the same types of, like, disruptions that they might experience, an athlete in basketball could also experience.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then I'm not sure exactly what my goal is for a lot of what I do. I kind of don't necessarily have a goal. Um,
Mhm.
I'm doing things because I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this podcast. I mean, I would love it if it became very popular and it's like a go-to resource for people. Then people want to reach out and pay me for stuff. That would be great. But at the same time, that's not necessarily what I'm thinking about uh, when I'm working on this stuff. It's just something that I like to do. Same thing for the other podcast, Movie House Sports Psychology, which you have been a guest on a few times already. That's a
Mhm.
lot of fun. But that's also just a really fun thing that I like to do, where I get to meet cool people and have fun, having a fun conversation. And the mentally fit athlete is kind of the same way, where I enjoy doing it. I feel like I like writing, so I kind of feel like, oh, maybe there's a book somewhere in here that we could work on. I do like doing workshops, so maybe there's like a workshop,
Mhm.
that could come out of the work that we're doing here, or a whole series of workshops.
Yeah.
Um, Working with coaches, athletes, providers, whoever. But yeah, I don't know that I actually have a goal, or at least a specific goal. I just like doing this, and I would like to keep doing it better, get better and better at it. Um,
I wonder
and
about, like, I wonder about, sorry, I cut you
sure,
off.
yeah, go ahead.
But I'm almost seeing, like, three different parts that are maybe possible inside of
Sure,
the podcast, where, like, there's almost like I'm just going to call it, like, the neuroscience side of, like, how does your brain work and what's happening when, like, when this anxiety or panic comes on when
mm,
you're about to perform in, like, the biggest game of the year or something, or even, like, the science behind, like, the lucky socks and the rituals of, like, a
sure,
game, um, I almost see, like, that existing, and then separately, like, we have those questions, um, answering, like, a listener question, um, specifically about their experience that they're having, and, like, so, like,
right,
a real life scenario, and then, like, the third piece that I see is, like, our observations or, like, responses to, like, what's happening, or, like, real things that are happening in sport today,
sure, sure,
and how does that impact maybe the psyche of a young athlete, or maybe even just gossiping about what's happening in the sports today,
sure, yeah, yeah,
I think that could kind of be, like, that could kind of be, I don't know if those are too, or if those things are too separate from each other, or if maybe they're even all one episode, right? Of, like,
sure,
um, here's a fact that we're teaching you. Here's a real life thing that's going on, and what's going on in, I mean, like, a real life scenario of what we would do to help this person through this specific thing, and then what's happening in our world of sports today, um, as like a three-part, the three chapters of the episode. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's possible. I mean, I think that's um, that makes sense. And I think one thing that could be helpful, like we're talking about now, is to figure out um, uh, what our lane is, or if we want to have a specific lane.
Hmm.
When we first started this, the idea was let's come up with quick tips, really concrete tips, and not spend too much time scripting or things like that. And it was kind of based off of stand-up comedy, where a comic works through material every night, every weekend, or however long, and they kind of work through things on stage. There's a comic, Fahim Anwar, that I like, and he has a show called I think it's called Working Stuff Out or something like that, where he just tries out jokes. Everybody knows that's what the goal, that's what the deal is, and the audience is in on it. Oh, we're trying new stuff. Let's see how it goes, and then that helps him, and the audience gets a show out of it. So that was the original idea, and then I think we've done that. I don't know if the audience has been in on that. We haven't necessarily expressed that too much, but yeah, that was the original idea. And
Hmm.
then having a format that's a lot easier for the listener to understand and
Yeah.
just know, oh, here's what I'm getting.
Hmm.
Um, and then the only issue with that is we probably both have a lot of interests, and we'll tend to get off topic or just want to talk about whatever we want to talk about. And I think
Hmm.
that's great too. That's um, might be more confusing for the listener, or just they might not know what they're getting into going in. But then people who like it might really like it. Um,
It would definitely have to be more of the like a little bit scripted, a
sure,
little bit planned,
sure,
um,
yeah,
for us to have that versus, um, the style that you're talking about, a little bit more
yeah,
improv style.
yeah. Yeah, then I do improv comedy. I haven't, emphasized that, or tried to like joke around too much in this podcast. This has been more of like the serious Jason, but yeah, that is a big part of my background, and I will teach athletes improv as a means of practicing mental skills training, like
Mm.
self talk, breath work, you know. Focus, things like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm open to it all. I'm open to trying it out if we want to have specific segments, if we want to have like a free form time, or have certain episodes where it's more free form and improv, or other episodes where it's much more focused. I think I'm up for all of that. I mean, do you have a preference, or is there something that you want to try?
I love the idea of both of them,
Yeah,
and maybe a combo of the two to figure it out, possibly. I guess.
sure,
Um, I think having the very like focused one would also, it also makes me go and research
sure,
things specifically, right? And
sure.
so part of this too, um, we know a lot of things, but we don't know everything. I mean, maybe you do. I don't.
No, not yet. No.
But
Mm,
there like part of doing this podcast is also
mhm.
like an extra learning opportunity for both of
Yeah,
us. What are people experiencing, and where where can we fill in some gaps,
yeah.
in our own knowledge, so that we can continue to stay up with everything that people need.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love the
Constantly
idea of
world.
what happened.
It's a constantly changing world. I even think about
Yeah,
like, NIL deals and how those
sure.
things are impacting athletes right now too. And
Yeah,
even just how they've impacted like uh, the ability of people to participate in sport at like a junior college. If you're over a certain age now, you can't be on the cross country team,
really.
because
Wow.
that's what I mean. Well,
Ah,
that's what one of my clients told me, because I had suggested she's 30, and she was
yeah,
like, well, I would go run on the cross country team or join the swim team or something like that because she's going back to school and she was also looking for ways of getting like priority registration
Sure. Yeah.
while at the same time like doing something that she's pretty good at.
Yeah.
But she's not allowed anymore.
Hmm.
So I don't think that was a thing before these NIL deals came out.
Yeah.
But that well, like there's good stuff with there's not really that many good stuff with it. It's just legal bribery now.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
like um I think it's kind of taken away from like what a person could experience as an athlete later in life possibly.
Mm.
And I think that that's an interesting area too and something that I'm personally interested in like what happens for women in sports after X age because we it's kind of an uncharted path at the moment. Um,
Yeah.
there's a few examples of men late 30s and they're into their 40s. We've got like Tom Brady and stuff like that
Yeah.
playing professional sport and performing at a high level, but
Yeah.
there's very few, even fewer, right, women,
Mm.
and even
Yeah.
fewer women in like uh, I guess lay person, just a everyday person participating in things.
Right.
And is that purely physiological? There's a physiological factor inside of that, but is that purely physical or is that also mental? And is that also like cultural, societal, that kind of thing? And then what happens? So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds really interesting. And there's been plenty of things that I've had like an intellectual curiosity about, and there might not be an answer to it, but if I can find someone talking about it, then then I like to check that out. So I'm sure there's lots of women, lots of older athletes, or just anybody who's interested in these topics for sure. Yeah, that'd be
yes.
great.
And then being mentally fit through that,
Mm.
right? So let's say I do have a friend. Her name is Sue McDonald, and she's in her 60s, and she is she runs at 1,500 meters, and she has the world record for her age group.
Oh wow.
But she also beats a lot of younger women. I think she's
Yeah.
running like I don't know 5 minutes or something. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah. That's
fast.
good. Yeah.
Um, and how I mean I haven't talked with her about this, but it takes a lot to get on that starting line next to a bunch of college girls who are 30 years, no, probably more than that, 40 years younger than her. Um, and to line up next to them and be out there and continue doing it, that
Hmm.
takes a lot, that takes a lot of courage on the inside and a lot of confidence. And, and I don't know,
Yeah.
it's interesting. I just think it's really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely something great to talk about. Yeah, and then I guess also there's the idea of uh, promotion. For me, I tend to do my best when I'm putting creativity first, putting just the fun first,
Yeah.
and something like social media can be very draining for me. Um, but then also we have to get it out there, or else nobody ever sees it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've been thinking about, like I feel like for me, like TikTok, probably too draining for me. That when I think about having a TikTok and needing to engage and stuff, I feel very tired, and it's not something I want to do. But then YouTube Shorts does seem like something like, okay, I just put it out there,
Hmm.
and people can search for it. Hopefully, they search for it, and they'll find it if somebody's looking for certain answers. Um, so that's something I've been thinking about. What has stopped me so far has just been the time that it
Yeah.
would take to do that, the video quality or quality of equipment. I really don't want to invest in a bunch of expensive, fancy equipment, at least right
Yeah.
now. But I feel like, maybe authenticity, maybe like low tech stuff is fine. And then also there's the cringe factor of putting myself out there that's a little bit embarrassing, and also spending 3 months, 6 months with like 5 subscribers, and then putting in time and energy, and then
Yeah.
getting to 30, and just the
Mhm.
necessary work it would take to grow the channel. Which, if I'm being honest, I'm not going to do. Um,
Yeah. It's it's not fun.
yeah, yeah,
But there's going to be a way. Like, I mean, yeah, one of my friends, she just started a YouTube channel and she's a DJ. So
okay,
she stands up there and she has her DJ deck and she's got like a light on her that's
yeah,
like, and she's just DJing and
sure,
she's like kind of dancing.
mhm,
And I see it and I go like, oh my gosh, maybe I'll do it. She's got like,
yeah,
there's like 5 subscribers, right?
yeah,
But she's doing it consistently
yeah,
and she's posting about it and she's like inviting people to be part of it. And I think if she consistently does it, I think it's gonna be fine.
sure, sure,
But it's like getting through the little cringe moment.
yeah,
If it was me up there, I'd feel so weird. But I know that but I'm encouraging her, right?
hmm,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Other than I know it's gonna get there and I'm proud of her consistency
sure,
and from the first video to the most recent one that I've seen, the quality has improved and she's like fixed up some little details of things. So whether it's like how far she's zooming in or like what's the focus of the whatever, it's I think that I know we're not DJs, but
sure,
there's probably something in there that we'll also refine
yeah,
and figure out. It's just going to be those first ones are going to be. And then if they don't work, you take them down.
sure, sure, yeah. You could, yeah, that could happen too. I would probably just leave them up and
We'll just see them anyway. And like
yeah,
really, truly, nobody cares.
yeah, yeah. That's the other thing too. For the most part, nobody cares. If
Nobody
there's
cares.
somebody who wants to be a hater, probably look at it for 1 minute. That's
Yeah.
it. So yeah, and I have concluded. You know what? just just do it. Worst case scenario, there's a place to store content, to store the work that we've done, and it will serve a purpose with a few people, at least a few people reaching out, or looking it up and finding
Yeah.
something that they wanted that they couldn't find somewhere else. So I've kind of concluded that. And it also, just to I guess, give a little shout out or something. I do have a colleague, a couple colleagues who, man, I always forget like other people's podcasts and stuff, because I don't commit it to memory. But I have a colleague who has a podcast. I believe it's called the Affirming Mind or something like that. I'll post a link in the show notes. But not that long ago, she came out with a podcast on how to be a public facing
Mm.
therapist, doing social media and stuff. She did that with another colleague named Kiki, who does a lot of work with DBT, and it was a really interesting episode. And they talked about how they weren't really planning on getting to this, and they just put the educational information first, put sort of like the creativity of the work first,
Mhm.
and then when they do that, they feel good, they can keep doing it. When they think about like trends and other stuff, they feel drained, it's really hard. And they've both created this platform for themselves to uh, do what they want to do, and to help people. So like, all right, all right.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. And I mean, it made my wheels turn on like what the mentally fit athlete podcast social media could look like,
Yeah.
and the little clips that could come out of it. We probably need more interesting backgrounds, like an interesting studio or something,
Sure. Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that there's some interest that putting the education first, like, is probably a good idea. Is a good way to go with it. That's what people are
Yeah.
looking for
Yeah.
initially, and the little banter and the in between is maybe why they stay.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think
So
about like, have you listened to Ask Dr. Lisa?
no, no.
No.
What's? Tell me
I'll
about it.
send it to you.
Okay.
But she talks a lot about she's a psychologist who talks about parenting. So she's always
Okay.
she and her co-host they discuss topics in parenting,
Yeah.
and it's very researched. It's very like but quick tips on the 20-30 minute episodes, quick tips on a parenting skill, on something that a parent is experiencing, and how to support and how to help and what's the education behind it, what are the factors to think about. And she also has to stay very up to date on the latest trends.
Mm,
Yeah, six
sure.
seven. Just kidding. The latest. That one's not even cool anymore.
Sure. I don't know. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
she has to stay up to date with
Once we know about it, it's probably not cool
exactly.
anymore.
It's
Yeah.
already expired.
Yeah.
So she has to stay up to date with like everything that's going on in like pop culture too, and like trends
Yeah.
too, because um, kids are showing up with all kinds of things.
Sure.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I guess another thing, I mean, we definitely have time to think about this, but like I mentioned off air, we have a bunch of questions from student athletes that we can go over,
hmm
and there's so many that realistically we won't get to it, and we have a bunch of questions from last year. We got
yeah,
to several of them, but there were many more that we didn't get to. And then I thought, oh man, in order to get through this, I would need to just
rapid
answer a
fire answer questions.
yeah, yeah. And and if we weren't able to schedule something together, just start doing it on my own just to get the content out, or you answer some on your own to get the content out.
Yeah,
How do you? Yeah,
that's a good idea. That's a pretty good
yeah,
idea. Um, like you answer some, I answer some. They could always be like cut
yeah,
together in the
yeah,
same episode, or it could be mentally fit athlete, today's Jason's Q&A or
sure,
whatever, and then the next episode, right, Lydia, and then
yeah.
that just creates that creates quick content.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. And then
You
we
could
just
do
need
that.
to work out some of the details about like how to do that. But yeah, okay. So there we go. And then that would make it easier to just have more YouTube shorts just being published, which I'm guessing would uh, help to grow the channel faster,
Yeah.
or the podcast, YouTube, or on Spotify or
Mhm.
Apple. Um, and then also the thing that I'm not sure if you're already familiar with this, and I'm just hearing about this, but I guess I mean of course social media has changed so much. We already know that, but I guess right now the thing isn't really the amount of followers you have, and the algorithm doesn't necessarily show your followers all of your content. You
Right.
actually don't get that much out to your followers,
Right.
and it's more about the specific post or video, and what the algorithm is going to do with that video. So I mean,
It's
it
become
might
a
be
little bit like a search engine also.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
So
then
the
I
keywords, like the SEO, like all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's kind of a weird thing where the amount of followers and the amount of videos you get, or excuse me, the amount of views on your content aren't necessarily lined up. And you can have one video that people really want to see that takes off, might not amount to too many followers that add you or follow you, or you can have a bunch of followers and then they're just really only seeing a small percentage of your stuff. So I don't know if that factors in for anything we need to think about specifically, but I guess that would just mean some of our videos could be really, really helpful and reach a lot of people. And then other videos, if people aren't searching for that content, they
They
just
won't
wouldn't see, I
see it.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Maybe there's maybe eventually there's a landing page too, mentally fit athlete landing page or Substack or
Yeah.
newsletter of some kind, so that we could be right in the inbox. you
Sure.
know,
Yeah.
the video
Yeah.
lands right there in the inbox.
Yeah. Yeah. I have thought about that idea too, a Substack. and then just like there's different platforms that kind of serve different audiences or different tastes. And then, at least from what I saw, then this could be completely wrong or just kind of based off of what I saw. But I think Substack might be more like um, uh, a kind of open-ended, like essay type stuff where it's maybe intellectually exploratory.
Mhm.
Um, which I think would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun, and then it would just be a matter of like when do we have the time to do something like that? And
Well, maybe it's
yeah,
connected to the answering the questions. Like,
sure,
I think
yeah,
some of the questions that might come my way, I think those would be good ones to, have a little bit of research behind um, in the answer. I'd at least want to be a little prepared, maybe on before I record. So maybe that becomes the article in the Substack.
yeah, yeah. And I think it kind of depends on the person as far as the order, because it
Yeah.
could be that talking about something generates ideas that helps you to write, or it could be writing things out
Mhm.
helps to clarify ideas. And of course, it would work both ways also. But yeah, so that's cool. That's something to think about. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know. As far as like branching out or anything else, is there anything else you've thought about, or anything that's coming to mind right now?
For the podcast, um, I think it would be cool to maybe have like guests at some
Sure,
point,
sure.
you
Yeah,
know, bring in some guests. They
yeah,
could be people that we know from, colleagues that we know, or maybe they're athletes that we know. I think that could be pretty cool. It's like bringing in, I mean, obviously not our clients,
sure.
but
Yeah, yeah,
I could think like the gym owner, like the owner of the gym down the street who like works with a lot of adolescents, um, and sees a lot of different things inside of their behaviors or in the way that they respond to
yeah,
training and stuff like that. Um, Maybe that could be something interesting. What are their observations, and then how do we support um, the like how effective that work that they're doing in the gym can be?
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely thought about that, and maybe just thought like, when do we do that? Like,
Yeah,
'cause I think it helps to um, kind of like find our own
a little.
voice
Yeah,
as a podcast, and then incorporate people into that. But yeah, there's I think it would be really cool. And we have plenty of colleagues to bring in. Um,
definitely.
yeah, do you feel like is there anything else that we should talk about as far as future plans? I mean, I would like to get more consistent. I would like to uh, uh, just put more content out there. Other than
I
that, I
think it
don't.
would be helpful to have, I think we should have, or we should talk about creating almost like one of those content calendars, just like, or a shared calendar of like, here's the topic of this week, or maybe we're recording twice a month or something. And this is the thing that we're going to talk about. And it's already like planned and scheduled a few months
Yeah,
in advance, and we can do it based on those questions maybe, or if we're recording those questions separately, um, having yeah, who's answering what,
sure,
when,
sure. Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, and then I guess that the only other part I would add is as we're doing this stuff, I don't know. Hey, I think at least for me, it would make sense. Like, oh, keep an eye out for ideas for maybe books, workshops,
Yeah,
things like that, or other ways to use the same
yeah,
material that we're creating,
or
and
even
have fun with
publications.
it.
Like there's some pretty cool um oh my gosh, what are they called, like magazines that are coming out
Sure.
that are like print only type of magazines.
Oh wow.
One that's just come out is called Run Her, and it's everything inside of it is focused on, what are you doing? Everything inside of it is focused on like specifically women's sports and
Sure.
women's running.
Uh-huh.
Um, the articles are written by women, the resources are for women, like that kind of thing. And maybe we have episodes that
Yeah.
talk about women's sports and are become one of those resources for them to be
Yeah. Yeah, that
featured.
sounds good. Yeah, then we do
Random
that. I'll
little
say,
thing.
Lydia to the side. Then I'll
Yeah.
I'll take over on that one. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think yeah, so this is a good place to wrap up, and yeah, we'll have more content coming out soon. And Lydia, where can the people find you?
You can find me online at lydiagarcia.net or on socials at LydiG.
Yeah. All right. You can find me, drjasononcease.com. I'm on Instagram at CBT Sports Psych. It's kind of all I do. I have other stuff. I'm kind of trying to make Blue Sky a thing. I don't know if it's going to be a thing, and I don't actually put that much stuff on it, but yeah, follow me there too. And all right, stay tuned. We'll be back soon.
See you soon.